Hey guys, it's Abby from Autumn of Pellinor, and I have got a lot of books to show you because I haven't hauled any books in months. So I listed them all out so I could go and find them all, and I have 35 books to show you. Hence why I am not holding them up in this video. No! So, let's get into it as quickly as I can. Okay, so first up I just have the dust jacket, and that is of Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I have the dust jacket because I'm reading it. This is a fantasy book. There's dragons, and some people think they're evil and some people think they're not, and it's following lots of different perspectives around the world of people either like preparing for this evil dragon invasion or people being like, oh, the dragons, we praise them, sort of thing. That's the best I can do. I'm like 100 odd pages into it. I'm loving it. Right, then the next set of books. I've sectioned these off into like months, so I'll flash up which month it is on screen because I can't remember right now, and editing Abby will hate me. Yes. Yes I do. And we have Gone by Michael Grant. This is a dystopian where all the, like a kid's dystopian where all the adults suddenly disappear. The people in this, the kids in this are 15 years old, all the adults have disappeared and the world is kind of crashing around them. Then we have The Timekeeper by Mitch Albom. This follows a man who invents measuring time and the consequences of that. I've read this one and it was really interesting. 5 Get on the Property Ladder by Bruno Vincent. This is a parody of Famous Five and they're buying a house. And then I bought the complete Miss Marple short stories because it is gorgeous. And it's a Folio Society book and I got it for £8–9 and they're normally quite expensive and I wanted it. But I did already have a copy. I bought this in 2015 and it's one of the books that got me back into reading after my massive slump because compulsory British schooling is evil. But yes, so I already have a copy and now I have 2. Miss Marple short stories written by Agatha Christie. She's a little old lady. She solves mysteries because she knows how people work because she's lived on the earth a long time. Not saying any more because it's mysteries. Then the next month I've got Sunshine by Melissa Lee Houghton. This is like poetry about mental health and it's quite dark in places. Who is Mary Sue by Sophie Collins. Another poetry book, this one being about Mary Sue's. And lastly for this month I got one of the little, what are they called, flip backs of Persuasion by Jane Austen. I think I might already own it. I've got a collection of all Jane Austen's books anyway, but it's tiny. Like this makes it look so like easy to read, like it's Bible paper, but and Persuasion is about a woman who's given up on love and then probably finds it again because it's Jane Austen. Next month, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This is the first book in the Grisha trilogy and I don't really know much more than that currently because I've read Six of Crows and I loved it and I just want more. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Again, this is one that I don't know too much about. I kept seeing it in charity shops and people kept going on about it. I think it's about like mental health and this woman kind of trying to deal with how unhappy she is in her life, but we will see. Everyone has been telling me to read this. Still haven't read it. Then, Skullduggery Pleasant, Bedlam by Derek Landy. I still haven't read this one, which is really sad. It came out a little while ago. I got it as soon as I came back from Italy from one of my variety of field trips for my masters. I went and grabbed this from Waterstones in Portsmouth. I really want to read it, but I'm also kind of scared to read it, and that now I don't have the like, bam, it's here, it's new. I'm like putting it off. This series is about a skeleton detective and his teenage sidekick, and there's magic and it's set in Ireland and it's awesome. There's a skeleton detective, of course there's magic. Then we have The Aliens Are Coming by Ben Miller. This is a non-fiction book looking into how we are looking for alien life and how studying things on Earth can help us do that. I read this. I really enjoyed it. It was my first book after finishing my thesis. 5 stars. And then finally for this month, Stephen King, 11/22/63. This is about John F. Kennedy's assassination, and it's about if you like changed history and went and like, yeah, if you go back in time and change history and I'm assuming stop him from being assassinated, how would that impact everything else? I've not read this one either. It's giant. This next month is what makes up the vast majority of this haul. It was after I'd got back from both of my field trips, and I was like, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go shopping and I'm gonna look around the charity shops for books, and I saw so many books that I wanted. They'd like built up when I was away in Italy because I hadn't picked them up, so I ended up getting them all. Oops. So first up we have Hollow City by Ransom Riggs. I had read all of these previously and I found it and I wanted a copy because I borrowed them from a friend from the library. This is the second book in the series. The first series is about a young man who travels to Europe. I think it's Britain. I'm slightly worried it might be Ireland, but I think it's Britain. He's American. He comes over and then ends up kind of going to this weird state where he meets these odd children, and I'm saying nothing more because I don't know how else to describe it. I've read all those. I enjoyed them all. Then I picked up The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. I've read this and I own a paperback copy of it, but it's in those different editions. There's 2 different editions and I have this edition for the Bone season. So I picked this up, and then I also need to pick up The Song Rising in this special edition. And apparently I now hoard Samantha Shannon's books. Then I picked up a load of Poirot. These were all in one charity shop and they were £1 each, and like their retail price is £8. So got Poirot Investigates, The Big Four, Mystery of the Blue Train, Peril at End House, The ABC Murders, 5 Little Pigs, The Hollow, and The Clocks. I've not read 5 Little Pigs, The Hollow, or The Clocks, but I have read the others. Then for the rest of this month, I got 4 by Veronica Roth. This is the short story collection that goes with the Divergent series. So this follows the main secondary character. Yeah, okay, cool. It follows 4 and it's just got some little short stories. It almost fell off. I've not read that one yet. Then I've got The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. I read this all in one day. It was amazing. I adored it. It's so harsh and so... Okay, so it follows the Underground Railroad that was present in 1800s, 1900s in the US with the slave trade, but it makes the Underground Railroad physical. That was a pseudonym for the transporting method of saving slaves from slavery, or enslaved people from slavery. But this makes it physical and makes it an actual railroad underground, but it also tackles a lot of real life issues. So that's the only non-true bit, but it's obviously a work of fiction and it's really hard hitting, really intense, and it's an amazing book. Then I picked up Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. I've seen quite a few people talk about this. I've seen other copies of further sequels in Waterstones with these covers, which I think are really pretty and really detailed, and I wanted it. Then we have Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I've not read it, everyone goes on about it, I want it, I don't know what it is. There is a carnival, surprise surprise, and you have to unravel the mystery behind it, and there's a game. That's all I know. Then I've got Hunger by Michael Grant. I saw this and it was cheap. It's the second book in the series I'd already mentioned before. Ooh, it's got different hours. I'm sorry. So this one is obviously a sequel. It carries on from that story, so that's all I know. Then I picked up Lady Midnight, which is the first book in the Dark Artifices by Cassandra Clare. I've read City of Bones. It's the only Cassandra Clare book I've read, and yet I own all of the Mortal Instruments series. I own all of the trilogy that has Clockwork in the titles that I cannot remember. The Clockwork series. And now I own this one, which is a chunker. Maybe I should read some Cassandra Clare at some point. Just maybe. Then, coming close to the end, Stephen King, The Outsider. It was pretty, and I want to actually try some Stephen King. Then, 5 Get Grand Online. Oh. I didn't say what that was about, because I don't know. This one, I picked up without knowing. It keeps mentioning something called a Parabati. Everyone who's actually read these books is probably laughing at me. I'll join you eventually. And for The Outsiders, an 11-year-old boy is found murdered in a town park, and the Little League coach is said to be the guy, but he has an alibi. And so it's like, what is going on? It's a thriller. It's a murder mystery thriller. Woo! I finally learned what the book was about. Then Five Get Grand Online by Bruno Vincent, another parody of the famous Five, where they go and get their gran hooked up to the internet. Read that one. 2 stars. Not my favourite, but they only get 2, 3 or 4 stars, those books anyway. They're just fun little things. And then finally for this month, Carrie Hope Fletcher's All That She Can See. I love watching Carrie. I've watched her for quite a few years now, but I'd never picked up any of her books. I'd always been tempted, but not quite delved in, because it's not really my area. But I've realised that I quite like contemporary with a speculative twist, and I know this isn't going to be gritty enough for me, or at least it's not gritty enough for my regular taste. I tend to like contemporary with a heart-wrenching twist, as well as a speculative twist, but this seems more heartwarming. I'm gonna give it a go. I might love it. May as well give it a shot. Then, second to last, but the last month selection, I got, so this is September. I know this one, I could have worked backwards. So I got this. I actually went in to do a couple of interviews at Waterstones to work there. I didn't get the job. Might try again at some point, depending. I'd like to get like a job in my industry, but like if I stay within retail for a bit, I'll probably try again. But yes, so this is The Secret Commonwealth by Philip Pullman, the second book in the Book of Dust series, which is part of the Dark Materials world. This one is quite a few years later. I've not actually checked, I just picked it up. Lyra is now a young woman in her 2nd year as an Oxford student. So, yeah, a bit further in the future from the last one, a bit further in the past from his Dark Materials. They're precarious piles. Then I found Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I didn't say that last time. I'm not going to go into the plot because I mentioned that with Hollow City. This is the first book in the series. Now I only need to buy 2 more. I've not read Dark Days. So I need to buy that and read it. And I need to buy the 3rd book that I can't remember the name of. And then lastly is A Torch Against the Night by Sabbath Tahir. I bought An Ember in the Ashes a little while ago. I've still not read it. This cover doesn't match. But it matches like enough. Just. And I've not read any Sabbath Tahir, and I love her. I love her Instagram stories. She seems so chill and cool. And the series is about a 4th trial and Elias and Leia. I cannot say any more because I don't know, and this blurb has spoilers for the 1st book. So I've just spoiled myself, I don't need to spoil you as well. And finally, I've got some miscellaneous books. So these are ones that I can't remember if I've hauled before. I didn't see them in the hauls, but like maybe I've just missed it. Or they weren't purchased, so I don't know when I got them, like they were given to me rather than purchased, and I write down what I buy, not what I get. Or I just, you know, So my parents sent me Eve of Man by Giovanni and Tom Fletcher. This is about a young girl who is the only person who can reproduce in her world, and she's 16. 3 males have been selected and the future of humanity lies in her hands. She's always accepted her fate, until she meets Bram. I think we can all guess how this book goes, but I still want to read it, and it was a lovely gift from my parents. As she throws it on the bed. Then the author, Lana Grace Reaver, sent me The Existence of Amy. This is a fiction book. She previously sent me her non-fiction book talking about mental health. This is along the same lines. It's just fiction. I need to read it. I have yet to read it. Oh, it's big text. Yes, I like big text. So yes. Then my dad read The President is Missing by James Patterson with help from Bill Clinton. He reads every single James Patterson book ever written other than his kids and YA books. He tried one of the YA ones because he didn't realise it was YA, thought it was stupid, looked it up and realised it was YA. My dad is a man of very specific tastes. He does not want to read about flying children. His mistake. Those books are great, I've got them down there. But he knew that I wanted to give this one a shot, and he does tend to keep his... He gets rid of every single book he ever reads. The only books he's ever kept are the Game of Thrones main series. Even the extra spin-off books he gets rid of. However, he gives them to me now because he knows that I want to read the Game of Thrones book eventually, and any standalones or first in series from James Patterson he also gives to me. And he donates every single other thing that he reads. But yes, this is about a missing president. I don't know. Oh, terrorists have kidnapped, I assume, the president. That's all I know. And I don't know what my dad thought of it. I need to not do that. Then, this is atrocious. This is really atrocious. Sam Maria Griffin, Other Words for Smoke. Someone sent me this. I think it's Seaward Rights. I've been avoiding mentioning it because I know I can't remember who sent me it. But someone sent me it. Like a lovely friend on the Bookternet. And I cannot for the life of me remember because it was when I was in my thesis haze. I didn't always remember to eat, guys. I'm really sorry. Whoever got me this, I love you. You're an amazing woman. Because I know that she was female. Or at least at the time identified as female. You are a lovely human being. Thank you so, so much. Just know that I feel atrocious for not remembering. I'm sorry. Last but not least is Paula Hawkins' Into the Water. My aunt read this and she loves a good thriller. And so she also gets rid of all the books that she reads. My family's weird. Or maybe I'm the weird one. But I hoard them and she knew that I was wanting to pick this up at some point. So she sent it down. And those are the 30... Oh no, it's more than 35. Around 40-ish. Those are the 40 books, I'm just going to say 40, that I hadn't hauled. Most of them were from August. The majority of them were from August. But I was a little bit busy writing a thesis, which was hell. So yeah, that's that. That is that big haul. It's finally done. I've got to put these all back. Thank you for watching, guys. All of my links are down below for my Goodreads, my Instagram, my Twitter, my blog, my Amazon wishlist. Make sure to follow me by clicking the subscribe button if you want to see some more from me. Thank you so much for watching this very long video, and I hopefully will see you next time. Bye!